Hello children, hope you all are fine by the grace of God. Students, I need your cooperation to smoothly undergo this online session. So keep your English books, notebooks, pens and pencils with you.
Students, I hope the syllabus of English literature for your second periodic test is known to you all very well. In your second periodic test, you will have total 3 chapters. The first 2 chapters you will get from your English book number 5, and the third and last chapter you will get from your English book number 6. The first 2 chapters which you will get from your English book number 5 are chapter number 9, Little Green Men, and chapter number 10, Pepper the Capuchin Monkey. Also, the chapter which will be your last chapter for your second periodic test, which you will get on your English book number 6, is chapter number 11, that is Grandpa's Pet. So students, this is your English book number 5. As I had said that in this book number 5, you will get the first 2 chapters of your second periodic test. So today we are going to start with our first chapter of second periodic test, that is chapter number 9, Little Green Men. Children, everyone open your English book number 5, chapter number 9, Little Green Men, at page number 2. Students, before we start this chapter, you underline the difficult words given in your book with your pencils and write down the meanings of those words with your pens in your notebooks. So students, let's start. Little Green Men. Children, this poem, that is Little Green Men, represents some men who are very little in size and also green in color. This beautiful little poem is written by David Harris. So children, let us find out what actually the little green men are. When we think of aliens, we envisage green men, but they could well be an assortment of different colors. Okay. Children, I hope you all know about aliens, isn't it? What are aliens? Aliens are human-like creatures which are found in other planets. Okay. Now, till date, students, aliens are some imaginary creatures. We all don't know, even nobody knows whether aliens really exist or not. So these are somehow imaginary objects or creatures. Okay. Students, you see what is being told in the first stanza, that whenever we think of aliens, okay, which are some fictional or imaginary creatures, we say that they are green men. And also students, you must have seen many cartoons as well as movies on your televisions where the color of aliens are being displayed as green, isn't it? So you see, every time whenever we talk or think about aliens, we understand or we think that they are none, but they are only green in color. But actually, they may not be. They could well be an assortment of different colors. That means they could be composed of a variety of colors. It is not mandatory that they are actually green in color, isn't it? We say little green men, yet everyone describes them on a giant scale. Okay. We say that they are very small and little green color men. But you know what? While describing about them, everyone says that they are very big, very large in size. However, suppose they were little, so little that they could hide behind a blade of grass. They could have already invaded us and we wouldn't have even known it. Okay. It is also said here that first it is told that they are very little in size and also green in color, but while describing them, they are described as very large creatures. But they could be small also, they could be little also. Who knows? Because aliens are fictional beings, they are imaginary creatures. Whatever we imagine about them will be true to them. So, they can be big also, they can be small also, they can be green also in color, and they can also be a variety of different colors. So, as they are described sometimes as big or giant creatures, they could also be seriously very little that they could easily hide behind a blade of grass. And you know what? They could have already invaded us and we wouldn't have even known it. It could have happened that, like other human beings or other kings of other countries or other places during ancient times, as they used to invade, as they used to enter and occupy our country or other places, likewise, in the same way, the aliens could have also invaded us because they are not from our planet Earth, isn't it? I have already told you that though they are fictional characters, but how do we know them? We know them as creatures of other planets. So they could enter our planet and they could invade us, each and each one of us, isn't it? Okay, next. We could even have them playing with their children in our garden. Now that makes you wonder, when our pets stare at the grass, they could well be watching little green men frolicking about. Now there is something to ponder at. Okay, as I have told you, children, that though they are very little in size, but they could be big also, very, very big also. And also, they could be so little that they could easily hide behind a blade of grass. They could have already invaded us, and we don't even have the opportunity to know about them. We could even have them, we could even see them playing with their children in our own garden or lawns or fields, just like you little people, you little children, you also keep on playing. Where do you play? At your fields, isn't it? In your gardens. Same way, they could also play. Now, sometimes what happens when our pet animals like dogs or cats, or not only pet animals, other animals also, dogs, cats, such kind of domestic animals, whenever sometimes we see our pet animals staring at grasses and thinking about something very carefully and very deeply. It may happen that they are watching some different kind of creatures in reality behind the blade of grass, hiding, sitting, playing with their own children. But you know, our pets, they cannot talk or speak. They cannot come to us and inform us that they have seen something other, some other thing which they found to be very much strange, isn't it? And when sometimes we find our pets watching or staring deeply at the grass, what do? We ignore them. because we don't even have the capacity to think like themselves, because we don't know what our pet animals are thinking by staring at the grasses, isn't it? It might happen that they could be watching those little aliens moving and playing about in a cheerful manner. Now, this is something very, very important and also essential to think deeply and carefully. So, children, this poem is basically a fictional poem based on fictional characters of aliens, which are represented as little green men. Because, as I have already told you, and as it is also written here, that whenever we talk or think about aliens, we think that they are green in color, but they could be composed of a variety of colors. They may not be little in size always, they may also be big in size. It might happen that they could be so little that they could easily hide behind a blade of grass, and they could keep on playing with their children in our own garden. And sometimes we watch them, sometimes we do not watch them. And if we watch them also, we ignore them because they are so little in size that they are completely type of invisible, fictional, or imaginary beings to us. And sometimes we find our pets staring at the blades of grasses. It might happen that they could see those little creatures, but they couldn't say anything to them, isn't it? So, this thing, that is, the aliens, are really something which are required to be thought deeply and carefully. So, children, I hope you all have understood this little poem of Little Green Men nicely. Do read the poem carefully and thoroughly, each and every line, learn the word meanings, and I hope that it is clear to you all, isn't it? So, children, this much for today. We will move to your next chapter of second periodic test in your next class. Thank you.